Genghis Khan. The name alone conjures images of a world-conquering warrior, a ruthless leader who built the largest empire in history. But his story isn't one of inherited power or a preordained destiny. It's a tale that begins in the dust and desperation of the vast Mongolian steppe, a story of an outcast boy who had to fight just to survive. Long before he was a Khan, he was Temujin, an exile clinging to life against impossible odds. This is the story of how an abandoned child rose to change the world forever. Born around 1162, Temujin was the son of Yasuge, a minor chief of a Mongol clan. For a brief time, his future seemed secure. But this security shattered when he was just a boy. While returning from arranging Temujin's betrothal to a young girl named Bert, his father was poisoned by a rival Tatar tribe. The news was catastrophic. Without its leader, his family's clan turned on them. Following the brutal laws of the steppe, they abandoned the young widow and her children, leaving them to fend for themselves in the unforgiving wilderness. These were the years that forged the future Khan. Survival became his only teacher. He and his siblings scavenged for roots and berries, fished in frozen rivers, and hunted whatever small game they could find. They endured starvation, freezing winters, and constant danger. It was in this crucible of hardship that Temujin learned the lessons that would define his life: absolute resilience, unwavering self-discipline, and the harsh reality that trust was a rare and precious commodity. He learned to read the land, to track animals, and to fight for every scrap of food. The desolate steppe was his classroom, and its lessons were written in hunger and blood. This wasn't just survival. It was the foundation of an empire. As if starvation and exile weren't enough, Temujin's teenage years brought a new horror: captivity. A rival clan, the Taishayids, the same clan that had abandoned his family, returned to eliminate him as a potential threat. They captured him, locked him in a wooden stockade, and forced him into slavery. For anyone else, this might have been the end. But for Temujin, it was just another obstacle to overcome. He was a prisoner, but his spirit was never broken. One evening, during a festival when his captors were drunk and distracted, he saw his chance. With a stunning display of boldness, he struck a guard with his stockade and fled into the night. He hid in a river, with only his nostrils above the water, as search parties scoured the banks. It was here that a pivotal moment occurred. A guard from a different clan spotted him, but instead of raising the alarm, gestured for him to remain hidden. Later, this same man helped him find a horse and escape. This act of kindness, this unexpected loyalty from a stranger, left a permanent mark on Temujin. He learned that loyalty could be found in the most unlikely of places, and it should be rewarded above all else. Conversely, he learned that betrayal was a disease that must be purged without mercy. These experiences would become the bedrock of the legal code he would later impose on millions. Now a free man, but still a powerless outcast, Temujin knew he couldn't rebuild his life alone. In his early adulthood, he began to demonstrate the strategic genius that would later make him famous. He understood a revolutionary concept that most Mongol leaders, obsessed with lineage and bloodlines, failed to grasp. Political alliances, built on mutual respect and shared goals, were more powerful than any claim to noble birth. He began to seek out allies, not based on their clan, but on their character and skill. He cultivated a brotherhood of loyal followers, men who were drawn to his charisma and iron will. This group became known as his *Nikod*. Warriors bound to him by an oath of personal loyalty, creating a new kind of power structure based on merit, not aristocracy. This radical idea was magnetic. It attracted skilled but low-born warriors from all across the steppe. His first major test as a leader came when his wife, Bert, was kidnapped by the Merkit tribe, an act of revenge for his mother's own kidnapping a generation earlier. For a Mongol man, losing a wife was a profound dishonor. Many would have simply accepted the loss. But Temujin refused. he activated his network of allies, calling upon his childhood friend and blood brother, Jamukha, and a powerful tribal leader named Tagra, who had been an ally of his father. Together, they assembled a formidable army and launched a daring raid on the market camp. The attack was a resounding success. Bert was rescued, and the markets were crushed. This victory was a turning point. It cemented Temujin's reputation as a man who protected his own, a leader who would go to any length to right a wrong. His fame began to spread like wildfire across the plains. However, the bonds forged in battle are often fragile. The alliance between Temujin and Jamukha, once brothers, began to fracture. They were two ambitious men with fundamentally different visions for the future of the Mongol people. Jamukha was a traditionalist. He believed in the old aristocratic order, where power belonged to those with noble bloodlines. He saw Temujin's merit-based system as a threat to the established hierarchy. Temujin, on the other hand, championed a new world order, a society where a man's worth was determined by his loyalty and ability, not the status of his ancestors. The ideological clash was inevitable, and it soon erupted into open conflict. What followed was a brutal civil war that tore the Mongol tribes apart. Former allies became bitter enemies. The steppe was drenched in the blood of warriors fighting for two competing futures. It was a war of tactics and ideology. Jamukha relied on the traditional support of the aristocracy, while Temujin's armies were filled with men who had everything to gain from his new system. After a series of hard-fought battles, Temujin's superior organization, strategic brilliance, and the unshakable loyalty of his followers proved decisive. He emerged as the sole, undisputed master of the Mongol tribes. In the year 1206, a great assembly, *Kurultai*, was called on the banks of the Anan River. All the chieftains and warriors of the now united tribes gathered to formalize what was already a reality. There, they bestowed upon Temujin a new title, one that would echo through history: Genghis Khan, the universal ruler. The outcast boy was now the king of the steppes. As the great Khan, his first task was not conquest, but reform. He understood that a nation of nomads, constantly warring with each other, could never build a lasting empire. He needed to transform them into a unified, disciplined force. He reorganized Mongol society from the ground up. He abolished the old tribal divisions that had caused so much conflict, integrating warriors from different clans into new military units. Advancement was based strictly on merit. A common soldier could rise to become a general if he proved his skill and loyalty. He established a strict code of laws known as the Yasa. While many of its exact articles are lost to history, its principles were clear. It demanded absolute loyalty to the Khan, banned theft, adultery, and betrayal, and punished these crimes severely. He also implemented surprisingly progressive policies. He created the Yam Asterisk, a revolutionary postal relay system with riders and way stations that allowed for rapid communication across his vast domain. He granted diplomatic immunity to foreign ambassadors and protected trade routes, which would later become the revitalized Silk Road, fostering unprecedented commercial and cultural exchange between East and West. With these foundations firmly in place, he turned his gaze outward. With his unified, disciplined, and highly mobile army, Genghis Khan launched a series of campaigns that were unmatched in their speed and effectiveness. His conquests stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the doorstep of Europe. He conquered the Shi, Xia, and Jin dynasties in China, pushed into Central Asia, and his armies reached as far as the Middle East and the plains of Eastern Europe. His methods were often brutal, but they were also highly strategic, designed to create a stable and secure empire under a single rule. When Genghis Khan died in 1227, the cause of his death still a mystery. He left behind the largest contiguous land empire the world has ever known. But his legacy is far more complex than just conquest. He was a nation builder who united warring tribes, a reformer who created laws and institutions that outlived him by centuries, and a global connector who opened up channels of trade and communication that reshaped civilizations. The story of Genghis Khan is the ultimate testament to human will, a dramatic, almost unbelievable journey from an abandoned boy on the brink of starvation to the ruler of a quarter of the world's population. His life proves that history is not only written by the powerful, but sometimes by the outcast who dares to create power for himself. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey into the past fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories that shaped our world.